Hey guys, God bless you all. Back at it again with another video. Um, it's been almost a month since my last video, and all this Transformers Reactivate hecticness that happened, and I made like 3 versions of that video, and I was, it was just too much. It was just, it just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming, kept coming, and I just stopped making videos and to see at what point it was going to be all revealed, and now everything's revealed about that, and Transformers Reactivate ended up being a scam of sorts between these companies, and it was just a mess. It created almost a ripple between the fandom, and yeah, in the state the Transformers is now is pretty weak, I would say. And yeah, we haven't heard anything official from Hasbro. We barely got news from the cyber world thing, and it turns out, and I have a hunch that they're gonna be um bringing the anime that they're working with Takara. They're gonna be bringing it to the States, and that's gonna end up being like the new like gap filler. It's a YouTube thing, so let's see how that goes. Um, yeah, Transformers is in a weird place. No movie news, no nothing. In all honesty, I think it just feels quiet. It just feels very quiet. Even the toy news has been, it's been good, but nothing like big, nothing that we haven't seen before. The thing that really like a lot of people are looking forward to CinemaCon to see what Paramount says. I'd be surprised if they say something. At this point, I'm not waiting on them to say something about the movie. And that is what it is. And a lot of people came out also to talk about Transformers Reactivate, and a lot of the people that worked on it, and that turned out to be a big bust. But a lot of people, talented people, worked on that were working on that game. So, and apparently the team was big on it, very big on it. So, and Simon Furman worked on it, or working on some story beats. But the game apparently just kept changing, and everything that we saw about the game was already from an old build, and what splash damage had was already like very different from what they had. The game was already canceled by summer of last year, and they just didn't say anything. So it is what it is. It just feels weird, the state of the franchise right now, and a huge weird rumor started spreading around Facebook and Instagram, and I think Twitter. I don't have Twitter, so I don't know much, but about like a supposed Michael Bay sequel was gonna bring back Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, and it was just weird. And then adding fuel to the fire, I think Josh DeMille saw that and he was like felt nostalgic or something because he ended up posting on his Instagram when like pictures of those days, especially pictures that when he was like working on Transformers One or Transformers 2007, I should say, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon back in those days, and yeah, I think it sparked like a conversation of whether or not these movies should come back. I think, honestly, I've been saying this for months now. I think Transformers really needs a clean slate. They need to start from scratch. They need a Beast Wars type scenario at this point. It just needs a clean slate, and it also shows us as fans we can't get too attached to these things because things come and go, and you know, who says that this might be the end of the franchise? This could be the end of Transformers could just end up just going away. Paramount, they're adamant of making more movies, but Hasbro is not very interested in that right now, which is a choice that they can make. They want to do more digital stuff, digital play stuff. Whether or not that means video games, and that's what they said, they meant video games, but you know, let's see how that goes. Yeah, we have no new anything. Like, it's just the comics, and that's just it. It's pretty much dead at this point. It's weird because we haven't had like a dead period in, like, I think since I would say between that like a weird dead period. Man, I can't really think of one. Like, I think the worst one was in the 90s where they did G2, and then Beast Wars kind of came in and gave the franchise a boost. But I think it was either lukewarm. I think the most lukewarm that it was right around the end of Prime and between Age of Extinction. That was pretty lukewarm, but before that, it was around before Beast Wars, and then I think a little bit between Energon and Cybertron, but by Cybertron things were starting to pick up a lot more, but it was just really minor. But right now it just feels like a really cold period, almost dead. And Hasbro at some point might end up even licensing those things to other companies, and that's weird. That's weird to think about it. I think us as fans, we need to, don't get too attached to things like this, especially material things, because at the end of the day, these are just IPs to companies, and it's their way to make money. It's a market. It's a product, and sometimes we forget about that, and sometimes we get too attached to a product we essentially buy and we have fun with, but it is like buying a bar of soap. Sure, we get attached to these things because stories and situations that they present teach us life lessons and teach us certain things. Certain attributes that these characters carry are very meaningful. But at the end of the day, That's how we see it, and not all people see it like that. But we should never get too attached to a point that it makes us go haywire. It makes us lose our north and our purpose. But that's my take on this whole mess. I really do hope and think I do think that it's just a really cool period that we're entering right now, and somebody's gonna come and do something brilliant at some point. And I hope that's the case, and I hope that these stories live on to teach us and shape us, and you know. But I do think this is probably, the coldest period. But it's just teaching us not to get too attached to material things, and always look for purpose, and always look for other venues and other roads to take in search of attachments. We shouldn't get attached to anything in this world, anything that really takes us to extremes, things that don't reflect who we are as people in the inside, because material things come and go, but purpose is always there. Who we are is defined by the choices that we make, and who we are affects us daily. So making a choice on not to get attached to things that aren't gonna make us grow or even better people. And we can argue that these stories inspire us to do better. Sure, that's how I see it also. But it should never deter us from what's reality and what's not. For me, I always go and seek God and seek His face and seek His warmth and seek His teachings. And I do see a lot of biblical inspiration in these stories, especially Transformers and Star Wars also. And I seek my identity in that. That's where my identity is, in The Rock. Where's your identity at? Where does your purpose reside? Comment down below, let me know, guys. I want to see more videos like this. Let's have a conversation about that. Like, subscribe, guys, and remember, God bless you all. Until all are one. Bye-bye.